Our fight today is in recognition for all of those deaf children that require ASL and LSQ services. They are a priority. They are our future. We welcome anyone to learn ASL and LSQ, but we must prioritize and provide, have our children come first. We have an MPP now coming to talk to us, Paul Dewar from Ottawa South.
It is good to be amongst friends again. Let me be specific. What we need to do is recognize sign language as a recognized language in our country.
Comment faire revivre l'espoir? On doit reconnaître la langue des signes comme un droit et ça passe à travers cette reconnaissance-là.
We need to make sure that all people with disabilities are represented, because people with disabilities are members of our community and they are now not being recognized as members of our community.
Il y a beaucoup de membres de la communauté qui n'ont pas accès à leurs droits reconnus. On a besoin de le reconnaître. On a besoin de reconnaître ces droits-là.
We need a National Disabilities Act, and we need to work on that together, and we need to have that act put before this place in Parliament in the upcoming session.
On a besoin d'une loi nationale qui va reconnaître ce droit-là. On a besoin que cette loi soit décidée ici, au Parlement.
Well, it's the second time within the last 6 months, I believe, that the deaf community and hard of hearing have come out to demonstrate their call for all levels of government to ensure that there's services for them, not just tax incentives that have been passed through by various levels of government, but that there's actually rights that are entrenched, like the UN Convention on Disabilities, that would ensure that they have a legal right to service provision, which of course is critical. And then it would hold governments responsible to make sure that the resources are there for them. One of the things I mentioned today is that sign language be recognized as a language. That's where we need to go. That's one of the things that people have been working towards, and that's something that I wanted to bring the message that we support. Finally, we need to have a Disabilities Act in place at the national level, and that's something that, of course, many people have been working on for a long time, and we're hoping that this gets through in this Parliament, and working hard to do that with my colleague Judy Wasilisa, who's our new critic.
Yes. Do you think with the recent expenditure by the Conservative government with the surplus, do you think that could have been spent better in other areas?
I'm glad you brought it up, and I should have brought it up here. I was short for time, but absolutely, you know, this is a government that said that they were tired of, in opposition, they said they were tired of these surprise surpluses, and yet what we have yesterday, the same kind of playbook by this government, and you know, this is hypocritical, obviously. We need to invest in our communities, we need to invest in people, like people who are deaf and hard of hearing, and I think most Canadians want that more than they want $32 back for what Mr. Harper says is his guarantee, tax back guarantee. The guarantee I know was the guarantee he made during the election, before the election, not to have this kind of scenario again, where you have what he called phony surpluses. Those are his words, not mine, and I think he needs to take account for that, and we need to invest in our communities and our people.
Do you think there's a little bit enough room in their agenda for the future, and considering there's a speech for the throne next month,
exactly.
Are they going to have room for this?
I think they've done a good job of trying to tell Canadians that they won't have room for investing in our communities, and I would just tell Canadians don't believe that. There are ways of making sure that we invest in the future, in the upcoming budget and fiscal year, and to ensure that we have a budgetary officer of Parliament that is going to make sure we have truth in advertising, and I'd like to see that happen as well.
Do you think Mr. Flaherty's up to the challenge?
I'm not going to trust Mr. Flaherty alone, and that's why I think we have to have independence in this kind of forecasting, so that Canadians know exactly how much of their money is coming in and how much money could be invested. And as my leader said yesterday, this is about having an informed democratic discussion on what our collective wealth is, and that is the surplus. It's not Mr. Harper's money to play with, it's not Mr. Flaherty's. This is a minority parliament, this is all of our wealth, and we should share it and not pretend it's just for one of us.
Good. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for your time.
Nice to see you.
Okay.